Your dachshund puppy just did the thing. You know, the one. That confident little strut across the room, ears flopping, chest puffed out like they already own the place and you're just renting a room. And here's the truth most new owners don't realize until it's too late. That big personality packed into that tiny, long body is exactly why the first few weeks of training matter more for this breed than almost any other. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn the first things you should actually teach your dachshund puppy in the right order, tailored specifically to how this breed thinks, moves, and misbehaves. Not a copy-paste puppy checklist. These are the lessons that protect your dog's spine, save your sanity, and set the foundation that stubborn little brain will lean on for the next 15 years. Let's get into it. 1. Teach the body before the brain. Before you teach a single trick, you need to teach your dachshund something no other breed needs quite this urgently. You need to teach them not to jump. That long, low body isn't just cute, it's a structural liability. Your dachshund's spine is essentially a suspension bridge with far too much distance between the supports. And every time that puppy launches off the couch or bounces down a flight of stairs, they're putting real strain on the discs running the length of that back. Disc problems are one of the most common serious health issues this breed faces, and a huge number of those injuries start with something as ordinary as a puppy jumping off the sofa. So from day one, you're teaching 4 on the floor. When your puppy stands up against your legs, begging to be picked up, you don't reward it. You wait for all 4 paws to touch down, then you lift them properly, one hand under the chest and one supporting the back end, so their spine stays level. Never scoop a dachshund up by the front legs or let them dangle. You're not just carrying a dog, you're carrying a dog whose back you're personally responsible for. Then set the rules for your furniture early. If you want your dachshund on the couch or the bed, get a pet ramp or steps and teach them to use it now while they're small and moldable, not after they've spent a year leaping. Lure them up and down the ramp with a treat. Praise every trip and make the ramp the only approved route up. Block the jump. A puppy that never learns to jump onto furniture is a senior dog with a much healthier back. This is the single breed-specific lesson on this list, and it's the one people skip. Quick one, if your dachshund is barking, having potty accidents, ignoring you, or you're worried about their back, I put everything that actually works into a 30-day plan to protect their back, master potty training, and stop stubborn behavior. 1 printable page a day, 15 minutes, no experience needed. Links in the description. Let's continue. 2. Nail the name and the look at me. Here's something you'll learn fast about dachshunds. Their nose has a louder voice than your mouth. This is a scent hound, bred to follow a trail and ignore everything else on earth, which means that when your puppy locks onto an interesting smell, your calls can vanish into the background like you're not even there. That's why the very first mental skill you teach is attention. Start with the name. Say your puppy's name once in a bright, happy voice, and the instant those eyes flick toward you, mark it with a cheerful yes and a treat. Do this 10 or 15 times a day in short bursts. You are literally paying your dachshund to decide that your voice is the most rewarding thing in the room. Once the name gets a reliable head turn, level up to look at me. Hold a treat by your eye, say the cue, and reward the moment they make eye contact. This becomes your reset button for life. When that stubborn streak kicks in and your dachshund plants their feet and pretends they've gone deaf, look at me is how you break the trance and get their focus back before things spiral. For a breed this independent, attention isn't a nice to have. It's the cable that every other command runs through. 3. House training with a schedule their body can actually keep. Let's be honest about something the cute videos won't tell you. Dachshunds have a reputation for being genuinely difficult to potty train, and if you go in expecting it to click in a weekend, you're going to be frustrated and your puppy is going to be confused. There are two reasons for this. First, that small body comes with a small bladder, so your puppy simply cannot hold it as long as you might expect. Second, dachshunds are famously opinionated about weather. Cold ground, rain, or a stiff wind, and your dog will happily decide the great outdoors is closed for business and come right back in to finish the job on your rug. So you win at house training by managing the environment, not by scolding accidents. Set a tight schedule and stick to it. Out first thing in the morning, after every meal, after every nap, after every play session, and right before bed. Pick one spot in the yard and take them there every time, so the smell does half the teaching for you. The second they finish, throw a party. Reward right there on the spot, so they connect the reward to the action and not to walking back inside. For the weather problem, get ahead of it. On cold or wet days, consider a small covered potty area, or accept that you may need indoor pads as a backup during the worst stretches. And if you catch an accident happening, don't yell. A dachshund that gets scolded for peeing often just learns to hide and pee somewhere you won't see. Interrupt gently, carry them outside, and reward the finish. Patience here isn't optional, it's the whole strategy. 4. Make the crate a den, not a prison. Your dachshund is going to bond with you hard. This breed forms intense, Velcro-like attachments to their person, which is wonderful right up until you need to leave the house and your dog decides that separation is a personal betrayal worthy of screaming. That's why crate training and alone time training come early, before any anxiety has a chance to root. And you want to frame the crate the right way. To a dachshund, a small, enclosed, cozy space actually taps into something instinctive. This is a breed that loves to burrow, that will dig under blankets and disappear for hours. So lean into that. Make the crate dark, soft, and cozy with a blanket over the top and a snuggly bed inside. Feed meals in there. Toss treats in throughout the day so your puppy wanders in on their own to check for treasure. Never use the crate as punishment, or you'll poison the one tool that keeps your dog calm. Build alone time in tiny steps. Door open, then a few seconds closed, then a minute, then longer, always returning before the panic starts. The goal is a puppy who sees the crate as their private burrow, not a cage you shove them into on your way out the door. Get this right now, and you spare yourself years of a dog that howls the moment you reach for your keys. 5. Teach gentle handling and body checks. Because of everything we said about that long back, you are going to be handling your dachshund's body more than the average dog owner. You'll need to check that spine, feel for tenderness, lift them safely, clean those long, droopy ears that trap moisture, and get at teeth that are prone to crowding in that narrow little jaw. A puppy that learns early that hands are gentle and touch means good things is a dog that will let you do all of that without a fight. So make handling a daily game. Gently run your hands down the back, touch each paw, lift an ear and peek inside, lift a lip to look at the teeth, all while feeding little treats so the whole experience feels like a spa day rather than an ambush. This pays off in two big ways. It makes vet visits dramatically easier, and more importantly, it means that if your dachshund ever does hurt their back, you'll be able to examine them calmly and spot a problem early instead of wrestling a dog in pain. Handling isn't a trick, it's medical insurance you build with your hands. 6. Get ahead of the bark with quiet. Nobody warns you loudly enough that a dachshund is a big dog's bark in a small dog's body. This breed was built to be vocal, to sound the alarm and announce every leaf that dares to blow across the yard. It's charming for about a week. After that, if you haven't taught an off switch, you've got a permanent doorbell that never stops ringing. So teach quiet while the bark is still a puppy squeak. The counterintuitive first step is actually teaching them it's okay to alert. When your puppy barks at the door, acknowledge it. Say thank you. Go look and then calmly say your cue. Quiet, and the instant there's a pause in the barking, mark it and reward. You're rewarding the silence, not the noise. Over time, your dachshund learns the deal. Sound the alarm once, then hush on cue and get paid for it. Don't shout over the barking because to a dachshund, you joining in just sounds like backup. Stay calm, reward the quiet, and manage the triggers by blocking the window view or drawing the blinds when you need peace. A dachshund will always have opinions. Your job is just to teach them there's a time to voice them and a time to zip it. 7. Give the digging a job. That instinct to dig runs deep in this breed, right down in the blood. Your dachshund will excavate your garden, tunnel into the couch cushions, and burrow to the center of the earth in your flower bed, not out of spite, but because their whole design says, dig. Fighting it head-on is a losing battle. Redirecting it wins. So give the digging a legal outlet. A sandbox or a designated digging patch in the yard, salted with a few buried toys or treats, gives your puppy a place where tunneling is allowed and even rewarded. When they dig there, celebrate it. When they start on your lawn, calmly redirect them to the approved spot. Indoors, a snuffle mat or a pile of blankets they're allowed to burrow into scratches the same itch. You're not breaking the instinct. You're pointing it somewhere that doesn't cost you your garden. Number 8. Build the recall their nose can't override. Last and maybe hardest for this breed, teach a rock-solid recall. Remember, a dachshund on a scent is a dachshund who genuinely cannot hear you, so your come has to be trained into something more rewarding than the trail itself. Start indoors with 0 distractions. Say come in your happiest voice, and when your puppy trots over, reward like they just won the lottery. Make coming to you the single best decision they can make. Practice in the yard on a long line so you can gently guide them back if the nose takes over. And never, ever call your dachshund to you for something they'll dislike, like a bath or nail trim. If come ever predicts something bad, this breed's memory will hold it against you. Keep it 100% positive and build slowly against harder and harder distractions. There you have it. The real first things to teach your dachshund puppy, built around the way this stubborn, brave, big-hearted little breed is actually wired. Protect the back, capture the attention, respect the schedule, honor the instincts, and you'll raise a dachshund that's confident, healthy, and a joy to live with. If this helped you and your little sausage sidekick, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button because we post breed-specific training and care guides just like this one every single week. Drop a comment and tell us your dachshund's name and the one habit driving you up the wall, and we might just tackle it in an upcoming video. Now go get some training in. Your puppy's waiting.